I'm going to offer you an insight into how improv works, and then we can relate it to agility. I'm going to teach you a game. I'm going to ask for a volunteer, but as I say, you don't have to volunteer. The key to agile leadership is self-talk. How many of you talk to yourselves? Some people raise their hand, other people go, do I or don't I? I don't think so. Well, I used to. I don't think I do it anymore. Maybe. I don't want to tell him.
I just don't listen.
I just don't listen, right?
Did I say that or did I just think that?
Was that me or someone else? Oh, yeah, it was my mom. It was my dad. Self-talk is defined as that ongoing dialogue we have with ourselves that determines our belief about the world. Leadership is very much about getting people to believe in you. Not only in you, but in the fact that you can make them feel better. So I'm going to show you a game, a very simple game. All you need is to know the letters of the English alphabet. You don't even have to know them perfectly. I know people looking around for the green cards from grade school. I'm going to have one person come up there. You don't have to volunteer if you don't want to. I'm not going to trick you, force you, and it's not about right or wrong. All I ask is that you monitor your self-talk. You notice how your thinking drives your belief system, and it is your belief system that drives your behavior. Because things of themselves are neither good nor bad. Only they have consequences no matter what you do. So, who's going to volunteer to come up and play a game with me? Nobody yet. Did I see a hand? Oh, I got hit. Wait, time out. Let's see. She's better. How do you know?
Because I just played games with her last night.
Oh, so you're using previous experience in a totally unrelated arena to judge. But that's okay. So do you want to come up? Come on up. Give him a round of applause. Tell me your name? Dennis. Thank you, Dennis, for coming up here. Hang on to this for a second. I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. Let me ask you folks, what kept your hand from going up? This is not about right or wrong. This is about taking action. What kept, and what's your self-talk?
That you want somebody else to have the opportunity if they want it.
I want somebody else to have the opportunity. I'm giving up the opportunity. What else?
Selflessness.
What else?
I don't want to look like an idiot.
I don't want to look like an idiot.
I prefer to not look like an idiot.
What else?
I'm already up here.
I'm already up here. I'm sitting in the front of the room. What else do I have to do? What else? One more. What?
Lazy.
I'm lazy. Let somebody else do it. That's perfect. It makes perfect sense. When you saw that Dennis had volunteered, how did you feel? Relief.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's Agile leadership lesson number one. By the way, why did you volunteer?
I don't like not moving at all.
I don't like not moving at all. Notice he did not say, I did it to save the rear ends of all the people sitting in this room. He did it for his own reason. But his reason, his action, had the power to make this whole room feel better. That's the leadership action. By stepping up, he was able to change the emotional climate for a lot of folks. It's not what he did that's the leadership model as much as what he did made you feel. And by the way, I have some other material that I did not put in the handouts on this, so if you are interested in having it, just leave me your card, and I will send you the other stuff. Dennis, have you seen improv theater before?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, we're going to play a game called the alphabet game.
All right.
You and I are going to talk to each other as two friends do about a topic which we'll get to in a moment. The structure is whoever begins the conversation begins with a word or a phrase, a word that begins with the letter A. And then once the other person's turn to speak, that person begins with the letter B. But it's not a one word at a time. So if we're talking about snowfall, for example, the first person might say, anytime I'm at a conference and it starts to snow, I got to change my plane reservation. And the second person would say, but don't you want to see the rest of the session? And the first person then would say, conferences are not as important as my family. And the fourth person might say, don't I know that? So you got the idea, right?
Yeah.
Give us a topic that two friends talk about. It doesn't matter what it is.
Restaurants.
Restaurants. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I was thinking we kind of might need three of us to do this right.
Well, okay. So,
Just kidding.
well, let's time out for a second because I want to go into self-talk. You were thinking that we might need three of us to do this right.
Just so there's not a quagmire.
where's the quagmire? How do you know there's going to be a quagmire?
I'm afraid I'm going to go brain dead. I'm bad with the lyrics. I'm afraid I'm going to be bad with alphabet game.
Okay, so what's happening here in the self-talk? What's the result? What's happening and what's the result?
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Where is Dennis living now? In the past, present, or future? The future. Where do leaders need to take action? In the present. The assumptions about what may be, we're old enough, folks, all of us know that many of the times the assumptions that we make about other people's situations really turn out. Mark Twain once said, "I've been afraid of many things in my life, most never happen." We're going to talk about restaurants. You want me to go first? I'll start. Anytime I come to AIA, I like this hotel because it's near Chinatown.
Yeah, I really love China. I'm supposed to go with the B.
Start with the B word, yeah.
I'll start with the B word. Because that silly pagoda down the street, it always makes me just feel good.
Chinese food is so varied, so I find I could have it every day that I'm here.
Except for the occasional bad wonton that just doesn't go so well.
Forget wonton. I like spare ribs.
Geez, tough letter.
Time out for a second.
Great spare ribs.
You said it's a tough letter. What makes the letter G tough in this situation?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's move on. Give him a round of applause. Did a great job. Thank you. What was it like here from the audience? What was your experience? Tension. What's the tension?
If I was in that position, how I would...
If I was in that position, how I'd feel. What else? What else was your experience?
I was creating sentences for myself.
You were creating sentences for yourself. You were involved in the activity. What else? One more. Your experience. Good, bad, yeah.
Being critical of the comments.
Being critical. Okay. And yes, ma'am. You wanted him to succeed. Why did you want him to succeed? He was on the spot. Were you rooting for him or me, if anyone? Him. Why him? Because it's my game. There's another reason that may be there. Why him?
He was the underdog.
He's the underdog. What makes him the underdog?
He's not as experienced.
He's not as experienced. Remember, this is the man who stepped up to save you from being uncomfortable. So one of the leadership qualities that comes out in this agile leadership, when people step up, there's empathy. There's that connection. And you know, as a leader, what you want is for people to understand what you're going through. You want to be able to create in the people who follow you the feeling that you are of them, that you have their interest at heart, and that they can recognize that the struggle you have on the board with the industry, with the regulatory situation, whatever it may be, is theirs also. So it's very easy to begin to recognize that the ability to step up is very powerful. And that's what improvisers do.